Hi guys, just got back from UAE, Dubai, had a great time. It's the 69th country me and Becky have now been to. It's unique, it's diverse, it's modern, it's really hot, and there's loads of things to see and do. So we thought we'd put this vlog together to go through everything you need to know, from how to get around, how much everything costs, and a review on all the main attractions. Right, first off, let's talk about things to be aware of before you travel. So number one, plugs. In the UAE, the standard voltage is 220 and the frequency is 50. Basically, all you need to know is that the plugs are the same 3-pin system we use in the UK, so any fellow UK travellers won't need an adapter. So next up is the weather. Well, it's hot and it only rains for about 25 days a year. Expect 40 degrees over the summer months, and even by late October when we went, it was still high 30s. Fortunately, there's always a lovely constant breeze flowing over the city that really helps make the heat bearable when you're outside in the hotter months. Right, next is money. Now I'm going to talk quite a lot in this vlog about how much things cost, but just to quickly summarise, on today's value, which is November 2019, 5 dirham is equal to £1 and 4 dirham is equal to $1 or €1. So lastly is airports and getting into the city. Now we're probably going to do another vlog on the metro specifically, but just to note there are 2 international airports that serve Dubai, one at each end of the city. The one that the vast majority will land at is Dubai International, DXB, whilst the other is only served by a handful of relatively obscure seasonal routes called Al Maktoum International Airport, or DWC. Getting from the main international airport into the city is quite simple. It's basically the metro or get a taxi. We packed loads into our 5 days, so here's a run through of our top 9 things to do and what to expect from each. Number 1 on everyone's list has to be a trip up the Burj Khalifa. 163 floors, it's the tallest building in the world and the views from the top are breathtaking. Located just beside the Dubai Mall, it's very well signposted and easy to get to. Be warned, the queues can get long though, especially near sunset, and you're advised to expect your entire trip to last over 2 hours, with most of that possibly spent on queuing getting up and down. We'd strongly advise booking in advance via the official website at top.ae. It's not a cheap attraction. For general admission for a sunset visit, we paid 240 dirham per adult. Our oldest daughter paid 200 and under 4s are free. So without doubt the best free attraction in the city is the world's largest musical fountain, and it comes to life every 30 minutes from 6 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock at night. And it's on a pretty extensive loop. We probably watched about 10 displays and didn't hear the same song twice. The fountains sit at the foot of the Burj Khalifa, and what makes it incredible are the thousands of lights and lasers that essentially light up the Burj to dance along with the jets. The fountains are surrounded by various restaurants from high end to the cheaper end of the market, so a great way to enjoy an evening meal with this as your backdrop. I hate that song. The frame is a great attraction, and its position gives you a completely different view of the city, and especially the Burj. It holds the rather odd record of being the largest picture frame on the planet, like that's some sort of achievement, but the premise is pretty cool, as the view from one side is the past and the old Dubai, and the other facing the city, which is the fresh, new, vibrant future. We went late afternoon and there was no queue, and tickets are really reasonable at 52 dirham each. There's a little cafe at the top and a few little eateries at ground level too, so a perfect place for an ice cream after a visit. this is one of the weirdest places we've ever been to. You're in the middle of the desert, it's 40 degrees outside, it only really rains for about 20 days a year, yet you're inside in -6, wrapped up warm, watching your kids play on snow, watching a parade of penguins while sipping on a mug of hot chocolate. Welcome to Ski Dubai. It's a brilliant way to spend a few hours. You'll find it in the Emirates Mall, very well signposted, and we'd suggest booking in advance as it makes the whole process much smoother in terms of collecting your equipment. It's not a cheap thing to do though, and there are various packages with or without skiing, but even the cheapest, which is just entry to the park without skiing, is 190 dirham per person with no discounts based on age, and under twos are not allowed in at all. Right, so I'm your cliche bloke and I hate shopping, and in a million years I would never have a mall in any recommendation, let alone a travel one. But the Dubai Mall is amazing and the stats are insane. It's the same size as 50 football pitches, it has 1,200 shops, and each year more people visit that one mall than they do the whole of New York City. It even has a dinosaur. It has an Olympic-sized ice hockey rink, the Dubai Aquarium, and it has the most beautiful human waterfall sculptures that seem to go on forever. Every restaurant and every cuisine you can imagine lives somewhere in that mall, and it's a great place to spend a few hours, and for the most part it's free. So the Garden Glow is pretty unique, and it's quite refreshing to have an attraction outside, so it's a lovely way to spend an evening. There's basically a massive array of different sculptures, all illustrating a different story and all lit up with thousands of different lights. It's probably designed more for families, but suitable for anyone and generally open from 4 in the afternoon until 11 at night. Tickets are 65 dirham each, under 3s are free. There is actually a dinosaur park attached with a playground that we spent 20 minutes walking around, but the main attraction is definitely the Garden Glow. Be warned, it's not the easiest place to get to. There is a metro nearby, and we did attempt to walk it, but it's not that obvious, so we would recommend get to the metro and get a cab because it's only a couple of minutes from there. So to the west of the city are the old souks, and they have a market for perfumes, spices, gold and textiles, and they're really safe and easy to wander around. They're like a labyrinth of different stalls, and although quite touristy, it does feel quite authentic and a nice break from all the bling in the city centre. A nice touch is that the souks straddle either side of the Dubai Creek, and there are public water taxis called abras that run different routes, and each one only costs a few dirham per person, and it's a cool and novel way of getting around and exploring the old town. So we love hop on hop off buses, and there aren't many places we've been to we've opted not to use them. We've always found they're a great way of becoming familiar with a new city, and especially in the case of Dubai where it's so big, I think you'd struggle to see most of the attractions in one holiday if you don't use these buses. There are 3 principal lines, red, yellow and blue, and the buses generally come every 30 minutes. There's a special nighttime line, the black line, that runs from early evening, but we found it to be quite busy and not really that interesting, so wouldn't recommend. Kids under 6 are free, 260 dirham for a 1-day adult pass, and children up to 12 are 166 dirham. You can also buy a 2-day or 3-day pass, which are obviously slightly more expensive, but still quite good value. The buses serve you free water, which we thought was a nice touch, and there's also free Wi-Fi on board. The downstairs of the buses are all air conditioned, and there's even upstairs cabins that are air conditioned for when the heat gets too much outside. So when we visit any city in the world, we always try and do a day trip outside of the city and explore somewhere a little different. With Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the capital, sits about 100 miles away, so we thought we'd hire a car, do a little road trip and go and check out their famous Grand Mosque. Allah! hiring a car in any foreign country can be a little daunting, and we don't have 9-lane highways here in Woking, so we wouldn't recommend hiring a car in Dubai or the UAE in general if you're not a confident driver. There's no train service, so the only real options are hire car, taxi or bus. Either option will involve a rather boring drive through the generic desert scenery, which is quite exciting for the first 10 minutes but loses its appeal quite quickly. The mosque though is absolutely beautiful and well worth the trip, and you certainly don't need to be religious to enjoy it. It's free to walk around, and beside the mosque underground is a mall and free parking, so easy to eat before or after your visit. So we love Dubai and we had a great time, and as a family we found it very friendly and a very safe place to visit, but I think in hindsight we only went for 5 days and I think we probably should have gone for 7. We didn't get a chance to check out the marina, the water parks, the aquarium, so I'd be quite interested to hear your thoughts, and please feel free to add your comments to this video, or maybe some of the other things we perhaps missed out on this vlog, and perhaps things we should think about going back and seeing next time. So that was our overview vlog on our entire trip. Now what we're going to do is create mini vlogs on each one of those excursions and give you even more information on each one, so be sure to check those out. I'll put a link to each one on the bio of this vlog. Now we've got a lot of things planned in 2020. We've got a trip to Korea, Belgium, Mauritius, Lithuania. I think we've got Euro Disney this time next year as well with the kids. So lots of exciting things coming up next year. We're going to be documenting each one of those travels and uploading it to this channel. So be sure to subscribe for alerts on all future travel updates.